Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming back into the room so quickly. We're moving on, and the next topic of discussion is the EU's single market roadmap. We're delighted that we've got Enrico Letta, EU rapporteur on the future of the single market and president of the Jacques Delors Institute, former Prime Minister of Italy. Enrico should be with us. I think he's connected online. Can we see Enrico on the screen now, please? Welcome, Enrico Letta. Lovely to have you joining us. Sorry you can't be with us in person, but it's great nevertheless to have you with us. Very important topic. So I'm going to hand straight over to you to tell us what is happening, what progress has been made, and what we can expect over the next year. And then we'll have a conversation about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope you listened to me, and I'm very pleased to be with you. I'm very sorry because I'm not able to be physically present in Zagreb. I visited Zagreb many times during the preparation of my report on the single market, and I had very, very good feeling and very good suggestions. So for me, it's very interesting today having the possibility to share with you some ideas on what is happening now with the report, with the future of the single market, with this, I would say, landing phase of the single market discussion. I focus immediately on the most important news, that is the news related to the fact that the last European Council meeting that took place in Brussels, October the 23rd, took a very important decision. This decision, unfortunately, is a little bit hidden because of the top priorities related to the wars, related to what is happening in the relationship between Europe and the US, and of course related first of all to the Russian aggression to Ukraine consequences. But the decision that the prime ministers and head of state took October the 23rd is a decision that will have big consequences, because they took one of the main suggestions in the report, that was to put a deadline, a very tight deadline to achieve the implementation of the completion of the single market for the leftovers that in the report were underlined. In my experience, policies without deadlines are like academic debates. To be concrete for all the different policies, we need to have deadlines. Otherwise, it's really just a debate. That was the main suggestion in my report. I put many deadlines and many roadmaps in the different fields. And I'm very pleased to see that the European Council took this idea of having a deadline. The general deadline the European Council put is 2028. They didn't say if 2028 means 1st of January or 31st of December. I have some, I would say, impression that it would be probably 31st of December, of course. And it was the recuperation of the Delors method. You remember that for the integration of the single market in the 90s and for the creation of the euro, the European Council took the same method and put some deadlines. The famous Europe of 92, 31st of December of 92 was one of the deadlines. The other one was the euro, so 31st of December 2001 for the introduction, the physical introduction of the euro. So the big news is the fact that the European Council decided to apply the same method. Now we have a date, 2028. The roadmap is that the European Commission in the first trimester of next year, so in the first months of the Cypriot presidency of the Council, will present the roadmap on how to fulfill and how to be able to get this 2028 in the decision of the Council and in the proposal of the Commission. There are 5 points that are the points that are that will be the center of all the discussion. And these 5 points are 3 vertical points and 2 horizontal points. The 3 vertical points are the 3 main fields where the single market is not completed, and the 3 fields where it is necessary to complete it. And the 3 are the financial markets, are energy, are connectivity. So on these 3, there is already in the pipelines the preparation of these 3 roadmaps on how to integrate the 3 and how to get this 2028 as the final date for the integration of these 3 that, as you know, were not integrated in the last 30 years. That was the main point of my report, to clearly say to the member states and to the public opinion at European level, in reality, when we talk about the continental blocks, Europe, China, the US, when we talk about Europe is a fake, because half of the economic most important fields are not integrated. We are not integrated in energy, we are not integrated in the financial markets, we are not integrated in connectivity. And of course, we are not integrated in defense, but defense is another discourse because defense is not a typical single market issue. But the other 3 are single market issues. When I say single market issues, I say that on these 3, I repeat, financial markets, connectivity, and energy, the 27 can decide at majority. There is no unanimity needed. Defense, in defense, unanimity is needed. But on the 3 is a majority rule. So the main topic now is the 3 will have a roadmap for the final integration in the 3 years, so 6, 7, 8. And the 2 that are the 2 horizontal topics are the 2 where there are 2 big game changer that are today on the table for the discussion. The 2 big game changer are, first, the idea of the creation of a 28 regime for the legal system and first of all for the business law. Today, you know better than I do, you are all familiar with the business rules in Europe. Europe is fragmented in 27, and for some countries is more than just a national fragmentation, it's also a regional fragmentation for rules on corporate law. And that is a mess for entrepreneurs, for SMEs, is a mess for investors, is a mess for investors from abroad, because it's so complicated to deal with so many differences. So the idea is to create a 28 regime that is a regime of a sort of virtual state with its own rules that can be the same everywhere in Europe and more simple. The Commission is starting discussing on concrete ideas on how to implement this idea of the 28 virtual state that is an optional system without opening the Pandora box of the battle against the national ones with cancellation on anything like that. Is just a new one that we add in an optional way. I'm sure that the word of the business will choose on the different subject the 28th because it will be simpler and it would be a sort of fast track and passepartout. That is one of the 2 horizontal topics. The second of the 2 horizontal topics will be the so-called 5th freedom, You know that the single market is the well-known market of the freedom of movement of goods, services, capitals, and persons. So the so-called four freedoms: goods, services, capitals, and persons, people. And in reality, this quadripartition is very old economy. Is relied to the tangible. In reality, today is the intangible that is the core of everything. So the main idea of this fifth freedom is to base this fifth freedom on a big investment on innovation, knowledge, the intangible. And we are, and the fact that the European Council and European Commission took very seriously this idea of the fifth freedom, as they took seriously the idea of the 28th regime, is giving some hope. So these are, in a nutshell, I would say, the 5 cardinal points of the compass, if I may say, the compass of this roadmap. We have the deadline, the timing, 2028. Now it depends on the member states and on the European institutions. It is not all in the hands of the top. There are some topics where it is possible cooperation and sort of enhanced cooperation among member states, with the idea to be faster in the integration and the creation of some of the tools. But in reality, in general, it will be a mix between impulse from the top, from the Commission, and protagonism of member states. I end up with one important message to all of you, people from the business, people from the world of companies, enterprises. It is very important, your role. You have to push, you have to press your leaders, you have to press your institutions at European level, all your associations, to take seriously this 2028. I want to say that because I strongly believe, and is my conclusion, that the reason of our weakness is the fact that we are too small, too fragmented, and less integrated. And the giants, China, the US, India, they are big and integrated, and they want to be more integrated. I want to leave you with this anecdote that is more than anecdote. Xi Jinping gave a great speech this year. This speech is not the speech at the of the Tianjin summit. It's not the speech at the summit with Trump. The most important speech of Xi Jinping was the speech he gave in front of the Economic Committee of the Communist Party in July. He launched the 5-year plan to integrate finally the internal single market of China, using exactly the same brands that we use in Europe, but I think with the big impulse and the big capacity the Chinese have to implement what they decide to implement. So my final point is to consider that this line of doing homework and being able to integrate and to be stronger at home through integration, scale up, and being able to be more innovative is absolutely necessary. And it is not only for the big countries or for the big companies, it is for all, because we need to have European champions to have the possibility for SMEs to work and to work well around European champions. If we have only national champions, weak, not able to compete at world level, it will be a decline for Europe. I don't want a European Union or a discussion in our countries in the next months only based on the choice between being a colony of the US or China. We are Europeans, we have the single market. Integrating the single market will make us absolutely stronger. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Enrico, and thanks very much for setting out so clearly something that probably did pass many people by with this agreement on the deadline of 2028, whether it's the beginning or the end of that year. And for just reminding us of the, the three vertical pillars and the horizontal pillars and what that entails. So I don't know if you saw today that article in the Financial Times, Who Killed the Single Market? Did you see that?
So, yes.
Yes. Well, I guess that pertains to, so that article was, probably many of you read that or saw that this morning. The article was really focused on this problem of the kind of mishmash of EU level, national, local kind of regulation, which is, imposing such a burden on businesses in across the region. So I guess that's the first horizontal pillar that you were talking about to address this problem. So to have instead this 28 regime to try and do away with that incredible just bureaucracy and burden. But I wanted to focus on the kind of the main vertical pillars. We've got a few minutes to talk about how really feasible do you think it is to meet this deadline, because obviously it takes a lot to integrate across these huge areas of the single market, of finance, energy, and innovation. So what do you see as the kind of big obstacles or challenges there beyond the kind of political will among the nation states?
I think among the three, the most important one is the financial market integrations. And the financial market integration needs some steps to create a savings and investments union. That is the main proposal to go further and not to leave the financial markets fragmented. But what makes me more optimistic is the fact that we have today an urgency, and this urgency is related to defense and security. And in reality, we can leverage on this urgency, as we did with the plan SAFE and with others, considering that all the topics that I mentioned, connectivity, energy, financial markets, in reality, they have a big, I would say, color of security. Is it possible to be in security without being energy independent or without having a financial market that is strong? Today, we are a colony of Wall Street because we are fragmented in 27. And so I don't want to be naive. I know it will be difficult. But I want to say that this set of deadlines and the fact that they decided, and when I say the European Council means the 27, means Orban too, just to be very clear. So the 27 took this decision to have this deadline. Now they are moving. I think it is very important, and gatherings that like the one that unfortunately I can attend only by Zoom are important to make to make greater the awareness of the need to go in that direction. If we continue fragmented, we will be weaker. We have this pressure from the defense side that can help. There are some integration, consolidation and cooperations in the defense side in the last months. We had some news on satellites. We had some news on other fields where, frankly speaking, it was totally unexpected, and that is a good news. But we have to go further. There is no time. There is no time. We have not to waste time. So my message here with you is to really being in an urgency, and this urgency is absolutely fundamental.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that message has come across very clearly that, yeah, it's an emergency on the same scale as the need to rearm and move very quickly on the defense and security front. And what you said is very much in line also with the discussion we had earlier with Peter Boffinger, also kind of emphasizing, you know, some similar points. Just one thing before you leave us, I guess, you know, we might see at least one EU country having, with an election in the next few years, maybe having, getting a populist government. Would that change anything in your opinion in terms of the dynamics here? Or do you think it's pretty unstoppable?
We will see. We will see. What I would like to say is that some years ago, around the catastrophic decision of Brexit, we had in Europe many new terms raising. I remember I listened Italexit, I listened Frexit, I listened Dexit, and so on and so forth. Today, even the most populistic and nationalistic movement, they are eliminating all these terms. So what I want to say is that today Europe is there, is the core of everything, and we know very well that there are no solutions for competitiveness alone. The only problem, the only main problem is that to get all countries totally aware of the fact that the solution is together. And if I may say, my big problem always is to knowing that European member states are divided in reality in two groups of countries. The small countries and the countries they don't know they are small. And in reality, we are all small countries in Europe, and I hope all European countries understand they are small and work together to have common solutions. This is my message to you, and this is the message that I'm giving today in the European Parliament to give a speech on this, and this is the message I will give this afternoon on that.
Enrico Letta, thank you very much indeed for that very valuable contribution for our discussions today. Great to have you with us. Please join me in thanking our speaker. And see you next time.